how have you worked with leaders who are struggling with this? Because there can be this like, well, we can't just give people everything they want. And
Hmm.
you're like, well,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's not what we're talking about here, that you just need to give people everything they want, or that you can have no accountability. You just need to let people run free. And if they want to go do whatever, then they'll do it. And actually, I found when companies go too far off that range, it actually backfires too, because people are like, I want to work, but I want to feel like what I'm working towards adds value. I don't just want to be off the res doing whatever. So, how have you helped organizations navigate that? Because it gets complicated real quick.
Yeah, it does. And there's context matters a great deal too, because like industries are different, geographies are different, culture, like where you are in the world, the markets that you are running your business and staffing your teams, that differs. So that's just a disclaimer to say like whatever we say here is what we should do is, well, that will work in context A, but not, you can't replicate it in context B. Which, by the way, sort of side comment, that's why there should be people scientists and psychologists on these teams, because like we're the ones to hopefully raise awareness and run tests and think about these things in a little bit more quantified type way. But to answer your
Yeah.
question, I did quite a bit of work over the last few years, especially with my previous organization, coaching leaders on this mindset. You actually talked about it a few minutes ago, where it's this false dichotomy that's painted where we say it's either people or it's performance. And if you engage in if you engage in productivity or performance, your people will be miserable, but you'll be profitable. Or if you try to appease your people and make them happy and productive and engaged, then inevitably you will suffer on the productivity point. That is a false dichotomy. It's not an either or. And what we came up with, a research backed framework, was this notion of both and leadership, that you
Okay.
can be both people focused or people oriented and performance driven. And what we found through our data collection was that for leaders and organizations that embodied that both and mindset, that people and performance, they were happier as leaders. They were less at risk of burnout. They were more engaged in their work. And so too were their teams and were their people. So you can achieve both. It's just a bit of a reframe, I think, of teaching, coaching, and getting senior leaders to think about it in a different way, that they can have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But to your point, it also doesn't mean losing sight. Like at the end of the day, you're a business, and you're a business in a marketplace, and you have to shareholder demands or whatever the case may be, and that's your fiduciary duty and responsibility, as well as the duty and responsibility to take care of your team. And it's this constant balancing act. So what we found is that I kind of portrayed it as an infinity loop,
Okay.
where you could almost toggle between the two poles of people and performance. And there may be seasons in the business, end of quarters, I don't know, like end of fiscal year, where it's going to be a sprint and you're going to be pushing your people, and there's going to be more accountability and people maybe working longer hours. But then you come out of that and you say, you know what, team, I know we've been pushing you. We're going to, I don't know, do something. We're going to give this week off. We're going to, whether it's an extrinsic reward or say promotion, or
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this bonus, or if it's more intrinsic, say, over these next few weeks, we're going to prioritize care. We're going to prioritize self-care. And, and so now you've toggled, you've shifted out of the performance pole, and you've come to the people pole. And it's
Yeah.
for leaders to stand back and have this sort of like balcony view and perspective on their business and their people, to see like, yeah, where in this infinity loop are we? Where should we not be? And how do I pull the team out to get to the other side where we should be, which is, probably more productive and better for everyone.